the trending scene.
Hey there, I'm Jenny Wallach with the Wallach Group, Keller Williams Realty.
And I'm Neil Dieterle with Indie Interiors.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Tulsa scene. Today we're going to be talking about all things trending in Tulsa. And today specifically, we're going to be talking about our amazing philanthropic community here in T-Town.
We're taking a little bit of a different spin on this February, this month of love. Everybody's talking about hearts and candy, and we thought, what better way to express love than love your neighbor, right? So we live in this great city, and there are so many opportunities to give back, both on the ground and by donating funds. So lots of things to do. I know we've both participated in things over time. Your company, the Wallet Group, right? It has a great program in place for your clients.
We do, Neil. It's called Keys to the City, and you were a part of helping me set up this nonprofit years ago. And we came up with this idea actually after the May 3rd tornadoes. Remember those in Norman, Oklahoma City, Moore area when our neighbors' homes were destroyed. And we just thought, dang, how can we help? And so we just committed to every closing that we got to help a buyer or seller with, that we would donate $100 toward those relief efforts down in the Oklahoma City area. And, because we're so blessed to sell so many homes, we ended up giving back $4,000. And remember, we sat down and we go, man, that felt so good. And we knew that we had a big goal of helping 80 families the next year. We thought, what an amazing impact we could have on our community. So we just took that same idea and we just applied it to our clients. And we said, hey, for every home that we get to help you buy or sell, whenever that transaction closes, we'd like to make a donation back to your local nonprofit. And that gave our clients the option of choosing their charity of choice, the one that's near and dear to their hearts. And then it got to let us know a little bit more about them and have a bond and connection. And then we got to make a donation to all of these different organizations. And so we've learned so much over the years about how many nonprofits there are in the Tulsa community.
You're an extraordinary amount. And I do think that's neat that you've given people the buy-in to help them choose, because everyone does have a kind of a pet or a need. And some of that is driven by their own life experiences or the family's life experiences. So it's great to be able to give back that way. It's been a while now. What does that total look like for you? Do you know?
I have just tallied it up, and we are just at $100,000 that we have given back.
Is amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Great. Yeah.
And so, Neil, we added in over the past years that there's a class that I teach as well as Brittany on the team, and it's a class called Quantum Leap for young adults. And why I love teaching this class is because it really arms our youth, 18 to 24-year-olds, with the tools and lessons and tips and big thinking and action taking kind of scenarios for them to get into action faster, so they don't waste a lot of time like I did of figuring out what I wanted to be when I grew up, which I think a lot of us
Some of us are still trying to figure that out.
I think so.
Many years later.
Well, and adults can also take it now too, because it's virtual now. We're not doing the in-person training. So we are opening up all of our trainings to people online through Zoom. And what we do, if they are in that age range of 18 to 24 and they take the class with us and then they fill out an application, then we offer up scholarships toward them to be able to apply towards school or trainings or books, materials, or whatever. So that's another leg of the Keys to the City nonprofit that we really care so much about as well. I know your girls have volunteerism as a part of what they must do at school, right?
Yes, they do. Of course, it's important to us as a family anyway, but they do have a service component that they have to meet in order to complete their academic curriculum for the year. So this year, to 8th grade girls, and they have to complete 20 hours of service. And it's been, that has never been a hard thing in years past, because we've said Tulsa has so many places you can go and offer to pitch in and help out, and so many options. But in these times of COVID, it's gotten a little harder to find places that are still operating as normal. So we did a little bit of research over the summer and really watching the way, the things that were happening with the economy and knowing that people were really struggling, we just wanted to get back out there as a family as well. So there were some still great opportunities offered within Catholic Charities to go and help with their food distribution center. They actually stopped doing clothing and household items and that kind of thing because, of course, there's a problem with intake in some instances because of COVID, but decided to kind of cut that out for a while and amp up their food distribution instead. And we just saw an enormous amount of people come through those lines every day. And we were just so glad that we were still able to be there on the ground, helping them and doing it safely. They've really figured out a way to make sure that their volunteers, many of whom have been with that organization for years and years, that they could still come out and do the job they loved and still really serve the community. So it's great to know those things still exist. And I know you have this week talked to a couple of leaders in local nonprofits, and you've heard some about what's still out there as opportunity, a couple of different ways, correct?
Yeah, Neil, I just love learning about our great nonprofits and charities in the Tulsa area. There's so many people doing so much good, and I always just love to share that message. And so I got to talk with two different organizations this past week, Neighbors Along the Line and also the Parent Child Center of Tulsa. They've had a weird year with how they're able to best help the community, whether it's children or families or anyone that's in need. And so they've had to make shifts and adjustments. And so I know that we're going to play that video here in just a minute to let you guys learn a little bit about these additional organizations. And, something else, I did a little research, Neil. I always got to know things before we get on here and talk. And so I just did a little search real quick online and said, how many nonprofits are there in Tulsa? Well, I couldn't find an exact number, but I found a great website that lists all of them in one place. And then also you can search by issues. So maybe you don't know a great local nonprofit. Maybe you're new to town and you just haven't learned about them yet. So this is a great place to go. It's called greatnonprofits.org. And then you can just search by city. And so I thought that was a great resource for people.
That is wonderful for people coming in and they want a place to jump in and get their feet wet with an organization, or if they're here and they need to, that's a great way to meet people, as we know, and certainly to give back. So, well, I'm interested to hear about Parent Child Center and the Neighbors Along the Line. So
all right,
here goes.
Well, here you go. Hey there, I'm Jenny Wallach with the Wallach Group, Keller Williams Realty here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa looks good on you, and Tulsa also looks great on Steve Hahn with the Parent Child Center of Tulsa. Thank you for joining me today, Steve. I wanted to chat with you about the amazing organization that you work with, so you can just share with all of us what you guys do over there. So hello.
Well, yes, Jenny, hello. Thanks for having me today. We are happy to be on with the call with you and would love to share just a little bit more about the Parent Child Center of Tulsa. A lot of folks know about our agency in the community. We specifically work to prevent child abuse and neglect through education, treatment, and advocacy. So what that means is we have programs that are school-based. We have programs that we partner with other agencies in the community to put programs on, for kids and adults. We have hospital-based programs. We also have home visitors where we partner with parents to teach great parenting skills. When we were raising kids, it was always these kids don't come with a manual. Well, we have the manual. And so we provide home visitation programs for parents for free in the community. And so that's another great program we have. And then we have counseling services as well for parents who have had allegations of abuse for their children or possibly have experienced child abuse in the home. So yearly, we see anywhere between 70 and 80,000 people in our programs, and all to prevent child abuse and neglect from happening in our community.
Well, Steve, I got to ask you, with this new world we've been in for almost a year now with COVID-19,
Yes.
How have things changed or shifted for you guys when it comes to helping families?
Excellent question. Back when the schools went to virtual learning last spring, we were really concerned because children were now out of the sight of regular reporters, those who had have a keen view, teachers, counselors, coaches, Sunday school teachers. And so during that time, what happened with child abuse and neglect reporting was it dipped too low. And so you might think, well, that's good, but it's really not, because that meant there's an absence of safety for some children and families across our community, because those folks who would regularly watch them and be interacting with them in different environments were no longer able to. And so we really rung the bell back in March, April, and said, be on the lookout and reach out to those around you. We even partnered with United Way, Child Abuse Network, and Family and Children Services at a time to create this campaign. There's even a website, lookoutreachout.org. People can go there and learn tips about how to recognize things, unsafe conditions, how to step in a safe way and to prevent child abuse and neglect. So that's one way. Right away, we knew, hey, things are different. It's a different world, and we have to respond in that way. Another way is a lot of our services, like our home visitation services with our parent educators and our therapy services, have virtually gone virtually, literally. And so we use secure Zoom accounts to have those visits with our home visitors and parents, and then those who are in counseling service as well. And a small percentage of folks actually come to the Parent-Child Center downtown and continue with counseling services in safe ways. We wear masks, we have hand sanitizer, all the things. We take temperatures, we monitor all of that stuff so our clients and our staff stay safe in this COVID environment.
Well, how can we help you? If anyone's watching this and this sounds like something they want to participate in in some way, what's the best way?
Donations are always the most helpful way. We're always looking to raise unrestricted funds.
Right.
And that's a very particular set of dollars where we're not locked in to a grant requirement or for a specific purpose. We can evaluate needs across our agency and say, hey, we've got unrestricted dollars. Let's place that money in this area in an unrestricted way. And you can go to our website, parentchildcenter.org, and there's a donate button there, and people can do that.
Well, I know that you guys are also online with social media as well, so people can also keep up with you.
That's right.
I'll make sure and share
We
that.
have a strong Facebook presence online, and so we post about 3 times a day for current events and things that are going on in the agency, programs that people can get involved with. And so visit us there on Facebook. We also share their other agency resources too from time to time, because we're all in this together.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for taking care of our community and making it a better place, and sure hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much, Jenny. You too. Thanks for the call.
You bet. Bye-bye. Hey guys, it's Jenny Wallach with the Wallach Group, Keller Williams Realty Advantage here in Tulsa. And Tulsa looks good on you, and Tulsa also looks good on Shannon Chambers. And I am so excited to learn a little bit about what y'all do over there at Neighbors Along the Line. So hey Shannon, how are you?
I am great, Jenny. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for spending some time and sharing about your great organization.
Definitely. It's my pleasure. Always, I think it's one of my favorite things to do. I've been with Neighbors Along the Line for over 14 years now, and it's not just an occupation, it's actually a passion. Neighbors Along the Line, we've been around for over 44 years, located in West Tulsa, and how I frame it is we actually create solutions for underserved families, low-income families. We do that in several ways. One is we have a food pantry. Food insecurity, hunger is a huge need in the city, particularly in our area. Secondly, we have a medical clinic, medical insurance, healthcare has been in the news for the last decade plus, huge thing. But we want to catch those who fall through the gaps. And so we primarily serve uninsured or underinsured patients. That's our primary clientele in our clinic. And we also have a literacy program, which focuses on mostly adult education, but we do some tutoring for school-age children, and we do preparation for GED as well as testing. So we're kind of like a one-stop shop for education. So in a nutshell, we feed the hungry, we heal the sick, and we teach the children. That's kind of what we do. And we, like I said, we've been here for over 44 years, and we're passionate about serving the community, making an impact, and really giving people who are not necessarily helpless, but just need a little help, you know? So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Well, what do you think, and what has really been the impact over this last year with the coronavirus and unemployment? I mean, have you seen numbers increase in need, or what have you guys really observed there?
Yes, so for over the last, I think, 4 years, we've seen a steady increase in the number of individuals that we serve. I think we've had to modify our operations because of COVID, but we're still maintaining those numbers. And it's been an amazing year. We didn't close during the shutdown simply because we consider what we do as essential to the individuals who need us. And that was actually something that came from the staff. They said, no, we want to stay open. And so it's just, again, you know, it's an occupation, but it's also a calling and a passion of ours.
Well, what do you think is your greatest need that us in the community can help you with, and how can we do that?
So I'm going to give a long answer if I can. So if you go on the United Nations website, there are 4 primary goals. The first 4 are zero poverty, zero hunger, healthcare for all, education for all. And so the problems that we tackle on a local level are actually being dealt with on a global level. So in order to do that, of course, funding is always, there's always a need. So there's always a need for funding. But one of our biggest needs is volunteers. I have a staff of 4, and we serve over 8,000 people every year in multiple services. And we do that because our volunteers. We've got a solid volunteer force, and we're always looking to add to that. So, yeah.
So money and time.
Hey, the big 3,
There you go.
talent, time, and treasure.
There you go. Well, tell everybody how they can get to know a little bit more about the organization, and also how they can either donate some money or donate their time.
Sure, I would encourage everyone to stop what you're doing and go to our website, see what we're about. You can make a donation there. You can also learn about the impact that we have in the community. Of course, we have a Facebook page. We do open houses. I mean, right now we're kind of slowing down on that, but when we open back up and we get past this COVID thing, I'd encourage individuals just to come out to see how we operate and see how the mix of services interact together.
And I love what's just written on your wall right there. Delivering possibilities is what we do. So I think everybody's got a good vibe of how much you guys care. So, well, thank you for sharing your time with us, and we look forward to seeing you real soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. That was wonderful to hear so much about what's going on with those organizations. And I have to say, you both have so much passion about what they're doing. And that really just makes all the difference in getting things done. You think I worked in nonprofit for a lot of years before I came around to my current profession, doing PR and communication and development work. And the people who are driven like that, who really, they feel what they do in their hearts and in their bones, really, they can impact the city in such an enormous way and make such a big change. So it just gives me goosebumps knowing there are people still like that out there and doing that good work. So thank you for teaching us a little more about that.
Well, you know, anytime I get to talk with people and they are living in their passion, you can just hear and feel it from them. And I don't know if you could see it from my end, but it fires me up too. So
Yes.
I just encourage everyone to get to know more about all the great organizations in our community. All right, so Neil, next week we're going to get back together. We're going to continue in spreading the love when it comes to nonprofits, because we're going to talk about one that's near and dear to our hearts. Who's that?
Well, I think we'll talk to somebody from the Junior League of Tulsa. It's where I think we've discussed this before. You and I met there more than a decade ago, volunteering for the community. And it's the Junior League, if people don't know, it's an organization that is specifically developed to promote the potential of women and develop that potential, and to promote volunteerism. So it's a great way to get involved in the community. And I think, as you and I know from firsthand experience, it is an exceptional way to get to know people and like-minded people around you. So new to Tulsa and you're looking for a place to find a home, we just want to give you some info on that and maybe point you in the right direction.
Well, that sounds great. I can't wait to chat again, and make sure that you guys subscribe, like, share, follow, all that good stuff, the Tulsa Scene, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.